Happy New Year, and hello and welcome to Kamen Rider Blackman. How is everyone enjoying 2023? Because I am finally back and done from my holiday break. And now we are here to kick off 2023 with Kamen Rider Revice month. Finally, too. I've talked about it, I've posted about it, I've mentioned it before, but now we're finally doing Revice month. So, with that said, let's take a quick look at the schedule before getting into things. So, first, right here and right now, it's not going to be the show. It's instead going to be the Kamen Rider Vail special, Kamen Rider Revice Legacy, Kamen Rider Vail. Next week, on the other hand, is going to be the show. And then after that, in the third week of February, it's going to be the Beyond the Generations movie, aka the team up with Saber. In the fourth week, it will be the Kamen Rider Chimera special. And lastly, to close out February, we will be looking at the Battle Familia movie. So with that said, that's our schedule for this month, so let's get into it. So, why I'm starting off first with the Kamen Rider Vail special is because it's the prequel to the show, and I wanted to follow the story canonically for you guys. So, with all things considered, if you have or haven't seen Kamen Rider Revice, I definitely would recommend going to check out this special. It's only 5 episodes long, and each episode is 11 to 14 minutes at best. But yeah, if you want to know why certain aspects from the show are those certain aspects of the show, I would highly recommend checking out this special. And with that said too, instead of going over the plot and story, this is going to be more character focused. Why is because I'm still currently working on the Revice review. I just need to get a couple more clips for it so I can start recording. And two, this is more of the type of, like, this special as a review, it would be much better if it was character focused, as you get the idea much better. Plus, it's short, so, like what I said, if you want to learn more, go watch it for yourself. And so, let's talk about it now. And so, the whole prequel, too, is basically the story of how the mom and the dad from Revice met. And each episode actually opens up with the mom retelling the story. It would get a bit annoying, maybe after the third episode, but not so much as annoying, but more so, well, it's annoying with how repetitive each episode opened up at that point, but they at least vary how they open up each episode, with how first you see the mom retelling the story to open things up, then we cut immediately to the past because that's where our story takes place. And the story taking place is the story of Genta Igarashi, or should I say Junpei Shiranami, the dad's past life, as he was abducted by the evil organization Noah, who kidnapped him for human experimentation. This takes place years after the gift stamp and everything was discovered. So I want to say, for time stamping of the show, they say it was like 25 years ago. And so let me look it up and see. 25 years ago today, that would be, this story takes place in, 1997. Yeah, this story would have to have taken place in 1997. And I say that is because it's before the kids were born, and fun fact, me and Iki's actor are actually born the same year. No joke. But yeah, 25 years ago, like, Junpei Shiranami was kidnapped by Noah so that he can be experimented on. Since at that point, more research has been done on the gift stamp and demons to try to fuse humans with demons for a new type of superpower and whatnot. And with Junpei alone, now I just want to talk about his character. He goes through quite a bit throughout those 5 episodes, because the only reason why he even bothers with everything, not just because he was kidnapped and forced to do so, but because his family was actually murdered by Noah, because they brought to life his inner demon, Vail, who we'll also talk about in a bit. And what's the best way to describe this whole thing with Noah and Junpei? I kind of want to say, I almost had this thought of it being like with Takeshi Hongo and the original Kamen Rider, sort of. But with Junpei, he goes through notions, like, naturally, once he meets his future wife, Yukimi, and just, once he's just had it with all the hardships, and once he gets an actual taste of not being a human experiment, he actually enjoys it. To which, by the way, let me think if I want to talk about, like, the dad and the mom's relationship right now. Look, because I brought it up, I feel like let's talk about the relationship now. I like it. These two actors both gel well together. And not to mention, this is just another fun fact. Both the actors, like the actor for Junpei, he's Shotaro in the Futo PI live action show, and young Yukimi, we actually all know her. She's Hammy from Q Ranger, so props there. Both those actors do a good job, because both the characters, how they even met too, is when Junpei is out fighting demons that Noah invented, once again for human experimentation. They're making a hypothesis to see how far demon power will go and how long will the test subjects survive for. Like crap, my mind blanked out for a moment. Like, Yukimi sees, like, Junpei fight and defeat the demon, but in the chaos of all the fighting, some debris, like a bridge, is destroyed right on top of him, and she pulls him out and saves him. And once they get back to... Okay, and here's the origin for the bathhouse. The bathhouse is actually a family business of Yukimi's. It was her family's business, but her family has since passed away, and she took in Junpei, well, for one, to have company, and two, the dude looked like hell, so just let him take a bath, let him have a nice meal, treat him like a human being. And then, slowly and kind of instantly, they started to fall in love with each other, and it's sweet. It's like, no matter what, throughout the special, Yukimi sees, like, Junpei, and she's just like, yeah, you're not bad, you know you're not bad, please do not be bad, because I believe in you. And Junpei is like, I believe in me too. I'm not bad. It's like, it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like with his family gone, she invites him to be part of his, and with her family gone, she learns how to live again because of him, and how to, by simply just being a caring person. They both show each other life, and that's fantastic. Mind you, they fall in love with each other in like a short time, but who love works in mysterious ways. What can I tell you? Also, she also gives him a new name too. And I think it's because he also had amnesia, and like Yukimi is the reason why Junpei is named Genta, and the reason for why is so funny. She once had a pet dog named Genta, and so she just names him Genta. That's just, dude. She basically called you a bitch. It was so funny. I loved it so much. And just all that time they spend together, like enjoying each other, understanding and feeling. They made their own family, and all they want to do is just share that. It's beautiful to me. Now, if there's anything else we could talk about, let's see here, because these aren't notes, these are just details. This is a more character-focused review. So let's get back to talking about the villains, Noah. They are like, they are like any of the villain organizations from the 90s Kamen Rider movies, except done better, because Noah as an evil organization, they are so much better than any of the villain groups from any of the 90s Kamen Rider movies. Better than the ones from Shin, and definitely better than the ones from J. Probably because we actually get a feeling and see how ruthless they are. And the thing is with the villains from the movies I think the problem there is that they were done in movies, so we don't have a lot of time to see them be evil and get more of a feel for them, because first and only appearance. Where in this, on the other hand, it's straight up established that Noah is evil, and they're doing this all for straight up science. And now let's talk about some members of Noah, that is. Starting off with Masumi Karizaki. First off, he's played by Ultraman X. He's played by Ultraman X, so I love that immediately. I'm not going to talk more about him just yet. Like, I will in the Revice review, but Masumi Karizaki, he's the scientist who sees immediately that they've gone too far. And at the end of this, he does pay for it. That's all I'll say. Also, next character, just because he's also in the show, but wow, he's more of a standout here. Busan. Like, in a previous, this is Busan's previous life. He was he was a double agent that was spying on Noah so that he can help bring them down. And he helps out Genta and Yukimi, which is why even in the present and in Revice, he's their contact. he's everyone's contact for certain information going on with the, well, I guess you can say the monster of the week. And so let's take another look just to see. Oh, shoot. Very next character to talk about, Vail. This motherfucker is that. Like, he is an honest-to-God motherfucker. He's the demon that killed Genta's parents. And throughout a good portion of the movie, like, Genta's becoming Kamen Rider Vail just to hunt him down. His sole motivation is to find the demon who murdered his parents. Speaking of which, about Kamen Rider Vail, let's talk about his suit. To which, this is a fly-as-hell suit. Like, the military garms underneath the armor, and the straight-up, the details of a... Is he a stag? I don't think... Is he a stag beetle or a Japanese rhinoceros beetle? I forgot. Wait, no. Has to be a... He would have to be a stag beetle. Because... Horn, I think? And wing... Point is, this suit is fly. This suit is fly. The military armor underneath... Like, that armor... No, like, the military garms underneath the armor... That's sweet. The wing making out like the one sleeve like cape in the back. Jesus, that's good. And honest to God, gray is a nice color choice because god damn, it's so grudge-like, if that makes sense. Like, it's a suit and rider that's meant to get down and dirty, because that's what Kamen Rider Vail does. When he fights, he gets down and dirty, especially when you see his finishers. Another thing to mention, too, is that driver, the Vail driver. That is quite the driver that's going to be elaborated... oh, God, words! That's a driver that's going to be quite elaborated on next video. Just saying. I'm really talking a lot about what I'm going to talk about in the next video. Next video. I mean, not next video. God, fuck me, my brain. Let's just wrap this up now. Because there's like 2 more things I want to talk about. One of them being the first and... Well, the final battle for Kamen Rider Vail and Demon Vail. This is one thing that I don't get, that in this and the show stresses that does not make sense, but it makes more sense the other way around. When, like, here's the thing, like, Vail is Genta's demon and Genta is the host. So, if Genta was to get killed and die, then Vail would die too because he is the spawn demon. For some odd reason, this stresses that if both of them are killed, or if one gets killed, then the other would die too. Which only makes sense if it was Genta that was killed. So Vail would have to die along with him because, like what I said, he's the demon and Genta is the host. It only makes sense that way. Like, the demon shouldn't control the host should control the inner demons. Like, literally like that. Like that. Literally. Like, us people, we're the ones with the inner demons. The inner demons are the inner demons. We own them. So that's why it only makes sense the one way. But in their final battle, not only was it a raw fight, it was a raw fight that brought down everything. Noah, like, fire, like, it brought down everything. After the fight was over, the building, like, Noah's HQ is just coming down. Fire comes out, and Masumi Karizaki gets burned all over, which will explain why, once again, I'm going to talk about the next video, which will explain why in the show proper, he's wearing a mask to cover up the burns on his face. And just, I guess that will also explain why in the show too, he's pronounced dead. I'm not going to say anything else there. But Busan, Yukimi, and now Genta managed to leave. But before they even leave too, like, Genta and Vail fight, and before both of them die, like, Masumi pulls out a driver called the Demon's Driver to seal Vail inside of it, so that Genta won't die. Once again, set up for the show. Then after that, Masumi gets burned and Busan, Yukimi, and Genta leave. Genta ends up having amnesia again, and he's in the hospital. They also give him... They also surgically change his appearance so that no one else from Noah goes looking for him. So they completely change his face so that he would look like a completely different person. And once he wakes up, Yukimi basically tells him they're married. That's a little weird. Like, she could have just called him her fiance so that, I don't know, maybe next we could see a wedding. But yeah, let's just talk about this other thing now. The ending theme song. It's sung by, once again, Hammy from Q Ranger. And it's just a whole montage of... It's a quiet montage of her just wondering about Genta. And there's even one part where there's like, they're at a church and she's in a wedding dress as if it's supposed to be their wedding. Which is why it would make more sense if she called him her fiance, so that there would actually be a wedding and they can get married and so on. But that's all I can say, at least about that. And like what I said, I would watch, like, before getting into Revice or going to watch the Revice review next, I would recommend watching this prequel because it's very good. It's just really good. However, there's at least one thing I would call out on, and that is, while we do get the backstory for certain minor characters, like, they do explain that in the show that Noah are the origins for the Deadmans. And sadly, it wasn't elaborated much on in here, and I actually wish it was. And so, with that said, yeah, that's about it. That's all I really wanted to say about this. This is really good. I would definitely recommend watching it. Yeah. Now, I finally got that out of the way. Oh my god, it was so... Anytime there was something involving the show, like this, like that final episode prepared everything for episode 1, and it came out months after episode 1. Like, if you're gonna watch Revice, watch this prequel. My phone. That was my phone. It's also my birthday, by the way. And so I've been getting calls for my birthday for the past few days. Well, not few days, few hours. Anywho, crap, actually need to call back my aunt. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video, tell your friends about Kamen Rider Blackman. Next week, it will be the show. So, see you guys there.